Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you this morning for the worst movies of 2020 video. And this is for the worst movies of 2020 video that I said I was going to do today. So I'm going to discuss what I'm going to be talking about from 14 to 1, what the worst movies are, and let you know why I picked them at the worst movies this year. So let's start with number 14, which unfortunately is Wonder Woman 1984. Now, I really was hoping this movie would have been good. I was really hoping, but the script was not as great as I thought it'd be. I'm like, seriously, you're gonna have a script that makes wishes, that grants wishes for this like wish stone or whatever, is like a Pedro Pascal absorbed this wish stone, and then uh, any wish that he grants from someone, it comes true, and he takes something in return. So yeah, uh, I'm just like, I don't think I like this script at all. And some of the fight scenes were fine, but no, I just didn't like the script at all. It was the biggest uh, disappointment of a movie that I've seen this year. Uh, I really was hoping it'd be a good movie. It broke my heart that I had to put it in this list. And I'm like, ah, fuck, I didn't want to put this in this list. I was originally going to give it a 6 out of 10 or something like that. But considering that it didn't do that great, Gal Gadot was great as Wonder Woman still, but for this movie, no, it's kind of a clusterfuck of a mess. But at number 14, I picked Wonder Woman 1984. I was really hoping I didn't have to pick that in the worst movies, but it it is what it is. Uh, Number 13, we have The Tax Collector. Now, this was a pretty disappointing movie. I think the script was a little uh, not so great, and you just see Shia LaBeouf play like this kind of Mexican accent that he's using or whatever. Like he talks like he's Mexican or whatever, but he's not. But that was one thing that was bad about the movie. Then the other thing was, sorry if I'm moving the camera again. Or not again, but moving the camera. I just am like, ah, fuck, I'm moving this camera. But yeah, um, and just the way the movie's playing out, it's not doing very well. It's just a boring script. Well, a pretty shitty script, but it's a little worse than Wonder Woman 1984. Uh, I wouldn't say the plot of Wonder Woman 1984 is as bad, but it is bad. It's not that good. But this one's a little worse. And the way it ends, it leaves at a cliffhanger of just disappointment, and you're like, where the fuck did this movie go? Uh, so I didn't like the way it ended that much. So yeah, number 13 we had The Tax Collector. Number 12 we have The Grudge. This was just a bad movie. A really bad movie. And uh just the way I think it came out, well, it came out way early this year, like January 3rd, I think, if I remember correctly. And it was not a good movie. It was really disappointing. it just had moments where it was like, uh, you just get really distasteful with this movie and how the plot is set up. It's just a boring movie. It was really let down. And just the script overall, it's not that good. Sorry if I'm not going into explanation more about what I liked and disliked about the movie, but I remember that it was a bad movie. And it's been like over 11 months since I watched it, almost a year since I watched it. Because it came out January 3rd this year. So it's a little bit old, but yeah. Uh, but at number 12, we had The Grudge. Number 11, we have Monster Hunter. Now, this one was uh really bad. Um, I just didn't like the action scenes as much, but they were fine. They were just typical action scenes, but the way that the movie's playing out and the pacing, it's not that good. And the script is just really bad. This guy, Tommy Jaw or whatever, um, is one of the actors that plays the Chinese guy, and well, he is a Chinese guy after all. So sorry if I'm sounding a little racist there. I'm not trying to. I'm just, uh, yeah, he likes Hershey's chocolate for some reason, and I'm like, what? I'm like, really? He just got interested in Hershey's chocolate. Sorry that you had to see that. I was just something was bothering me in my teeth or whatever, but yeah, Monster Hunter wasn't a good movie. Ron Perlman looked like a caveman for most of this movie. Well, he really did. You don't see him till closer to the end of the movie. And I'm like, this is just a bad movie. Uh, even the monsters were, the CGI is not even that good. And some of the actors in it weren't that convincing to really grow attached to. Mila Djokovic is still a badass in this movie, uh, but for what it is as a whole, this movie needed a lot of work. But at number 11, I picked Monster Hunter. Number 10, we have Ava. Now, this was like a spy kind of movie where she's like an agent for this organization or whatever that assassinates people. She's like an assassin, I guess you could say. And she just Jessica Chastain was good in this movie, just not the script. It was just going nowhere, this movie. And I'm like, oh, this is just not a good movie. But just the way that it's playing out, I didn't like it. Colin Farrell was in this movie, and he wasn't bad, but yeah. And John Malkovich is in this movie too. So this came out like September 25th this year, and I just didn't like it. I don't know, something about it just made me hate it for some reason. But yeah, number 10, I chose Ava. Number 9, we have Brahms the Boy 2. Uh, this one was just a mess. Uh, it's been a little while since I've seen it, but The Boy was actually a good one. I actually like that movie more than the sequel. Sequel was not that great, and if you did watch the movie, you see that the boy gets possessed by the doll or whatever. And it's just a really bad movie. I hated it from start to finish. I was just like, oh. I was kind of like that. But, yeah. I was just bored out of my mind. I'm like, this is a shitty movie. And just the way that it's set up and all that, it's not that good. But still, it was it could have been a lot better. But at number 9 we have Brahms the Boy 2 on my list. Number 8 we have Like a Boss. Now this one was a kind of clusterfuck of a movie, and yeah, it just didn't strike me as good. But the jokes in it are just not that great. They were really terrible. And Tiffany Haddish and I'm trying to remember the other girl's name. Rose Byrne, I think is what her name is. If I'm saying it right. I'd have to look at the cast again. And the other girl in it, it's been a little while since I've seen this movie, so please forgive me on not knowing most of my actors' names. The actors' names or whatever. Salma Hayek, that's what her name is. I just remembered it at the last moment. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what her name is. Yeah, this movie wasn't good. It was just a clusterfuck of a mess. And it could have been a lot better. But the jokes in it were just dumb. And pointless too. And I'm like, this is not a good movie. So at number 8 we had Like a Boss. I just didn't like the way this movie played out. Wasn't good. Number 7, this is going to have to be the last one I'll mention, and then I'll return to you for part 2 of this worst movies of 2020 video. We have The Craft Legacy. Now, the main character in this was great in this movie, but the CGI when David, what's his name? I can't remember his last name. David something. You'll have to remind me in the comment section below, because I tend to forget actors' names sometimes. But yeah, it was just a bad movie, and just the way that the script is set up, it's not really convincing of a story, and the CGI in this is terrible, and just they're like these teenage witches or whatever, and they form this coven, and then they have to find their 4th member to complete the coven, and they do officially have a complete coven, and then they just try to use their magic spells on people or whatever, and it just, no, I didn't like this movie at all. So yeah, at number 7 we have The Craft Legacy. I'll have to return to you for part 2 of this worst movies of 2020 video, but I hope you enjoyed part 1 of it. It's gonna be from 6 to 1, the last few numbers, but thank you for watching this part 1 of worst movies of 2020 video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you did. I know I didn't go into explanation about some movies, and I really didn't want to put Wonder Woman 1984 on this list, but it had to make it. because it was not a good movie. Definitely stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in my next video.